Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisheshaya Shunyavadi Pashad Deshatahārine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Everybody is now focused on who's going to be the next president of India. They all know who's going to become. But we see such a lamentable condition. Here we have a look at this king, we can say Barisha. He's a great personality. His another name is Prachina Barisha, full name. And this personality is so qualified, is engaged, he is still following the Vedic literatures. But instead of being on a path of pure devotion service, he is little karma kind. There are two kinds of activities. One is activities of the body, one is activities of the mind. There are two things we have around the soul. Now the soul should do only spiritual activities, which are activities through the body and mind we have to work for the pleasure of Krishna. When you do activities through the body for sense gratification, that is called karma. When you do activities through the mind for speculating, see, karma has to be done. But when karma is done independent of Krishna, that is called fruitive activity. When you are looking for Krishna's pleasure, that is not called fruitive. That is very nice. That is welcome. Because we are servants of Krishna. We should use our hand, mouth, everything in pleasure of Krishna. That is not fruitive. There is no problem with that. Not that you have to stop activity. There is nothing like karma sannyasa, which is practically forbidden in Kali Yuga. Some people do it, but it's not recommended. They go to Himalaya, sit down, waste of time. That is not recommended in Kali Yuga. Rather, the body act should be used for Krishna's pleasure. So then it is not fruitive. If you do anything else, that becomes fruitive. Mind should also think about Krishna. Try to meditate on Krishna's instructions, Lotus feet. Then that is not called jnana. Jnana means jnana karmadi anavritam. Why be a devotee is not without knowledge. Devotee has all the knowledge. But any knowledge independent of Krishna is called jnana. You understand? Because he is saying no, free from fruitive activities, sarvopadi vinirmuktam tatparatvaina nirmalam anyavilashita shunyam jnana karmadi anavritam. Free from jnana and karma. Karma we understood. Any activity not for Krishna's pleasure, we are referring as karma. It is binding. So jnana, knowledge. Devotees have a lot of knowledge. Vedavyasa is full of knowledge. Prabhupada is full of knowledge. Jnana here refers to any knowledge, speculative knowledge. What is speculative? It is not the order of Krishna, your imagination. You simply sit and imagine. So similarly, in India also we imagine we should have a post. First class hypocrisy. That from the government. That post is called number one post. He is called the first citizen of the country. He has zero powers. A man on the street has more powers. No power. Just a puppet. And on top of it, the person when he comes to the throne doesn't know what are his duties. Actually, he is coming there only to accrue the papa karma of citizens. That's all. And any person should be hesitant for such a kind of a post. Any gentleman will say, I will not take. Because you are becoming the first citizen. 1/6 of the karma, of the sinful activities, of the society is going to come to you. And Kali Yuga, people are expert in performing sinful activities. Expert. Previously, Barisha is not doing sinful, he is doing punya karma. This is punya. Today they are doing papa. Just like he is expert in doing punya, people are engaged in papa. 1/6 of that he has to read. Simply come there to collect papa karmas and go to hell for millions of births. And this is a congratulations, we should say. Congratulations to you. Now billions of births go suffer in hell. Just joke it. And person is very eager for that. So happy. How does it matter? You live in a, finally to sit down you need few 4 square feet. To lie down you may require 18 square feet. Now your 4 square feet, 18 square feet is within a huge bungalow or a small hut. Does not matter. What matters is your consciousness, and what matters is what is your destination. The Barishat is not ordinary. This king being mentioned here, he is sent his sons, do some tapasya, get trained and come back to rule. It's not easy to rule. Correct? And then second thing, he's also thinking about his future life. What is going to happen to me? Because consciousness is permanent, it is eternal, it is sat. Body is asat, it is temporary. But consciousness is sat, it is eternal, it is going to stay. Now he is thinking, let me do some pious activities for my advancement. So just like, Lord Shiva took mercy on the sons of this Prachina Barisha, Prachetas, Nārada took mercy on this king. Very pious soul, doing so much punya. So much he is doing everywhere, yagnas and punya. He said, let me give him some mercy. In fact, he comes to instruct him. That for happiness, you are doing all this thing. Ultimate aim of life is to get free from miseries and enjoy happiness. But what you are doing, these fruitive activities, they can't give you that. You are wasting your labor. So people are not aware, nobody is aware, that at the time of death, punya karma will not help you. Today we see in the society, in fact, Prabhupada, just we will come 2-3 shlokas later, Prabhupada comes to the purport, that whole society is so much engrossed, as the people grow up. We see so many examples. At a particular age, the father used to take vanaprastha and then sannyas. This was a Vedic law. 50 years, 60 years, udasina. Now, what is going to happen to him, how he is going to run the world, they are not bothered. But today, even till 90 years or 100 years, somebody may be. I remember one of my relatives. He will be feeling, I told this son is not good only. He doesn't listen. I am telling him, he has spoiled his life. He was not very successful in material. So, constant cursing. I told him, and like that it is. It's not correct. Why you should do that? Two people cannot run a steering. Steering is run by one person. And after a particular age, generally around 25 plus, person becomes independently thoughtful, you like or not. That's the nature. That's the design in his own system. Everybody, when he's a child, anything you tell, he will take it. But as he becomes grown up, everything is going to have his own opinion, whether this is correct or this is wrong. If you do not train properly, you have to be ready with the result. Whatever the result, accept the result and become udasi. Nothing can be done. Actually, more than 25 years, if somebody is trying to instruct somebody, do this and don't do this, it is wasting his time. You can give an advice. If he is breaking regulative principle, that is separate. Because every rule is an exception. Every rule is an exception. If a child is smoking, drinking, father cannot say, I cannot say anything. No, it's a criminal activity. Actually, even a government should arrest and beat him up. But today the law is very weak. Sinful activities are the norm of the day. So it's a different issue. But you see, generally what happens today is that the parents, not only about their own comforts, and they make economic arrangements so that till the last day in the life, just like there are so many pension schemes, people put money there so that till the last day in the life I am protected. Not only about them, even the children's, they keep making arrangements. Children's also, they keep making arrangements. They should have no problem to the last point in their life. The children's over than grandchildren. No end to it. Prabhupada said, why? Try to understand this point, that if consciousness is not there, these things will not be able to protect you. Forget about your own children. Everybody has to face death. For an atheist person, realization of God is at the point of death. He sees invincible time conquering. In that sense, indirectly, he has a realization of God. Just like I told many times, little my understanding. When a teacher throws a student out of the class, that time the student realizes presence of the teacher. But he cannot see him, maybe. He sees the order of the teacher, just throws him out. That's all. So similarly, it is difficult for us to realize Krishna unless we offer pure devotion service. Prabhupada says, citizens are like small children for a good king, not these imposters, not these puppet presidents, bogus people. Citizens are like children for a real king. Lord Rama, when he was ruling, he used to take care of the citizens like his own children. Very nicely, with great affection. Correct? That was his thing. But what he wants to teach them. So that, Anumrityava, at the point of death, they remember the Lord. That is the training. But today, where is that training? All the government can think of, anyway, this president coming was an economic finance man, even if he has knowledge of finance. Many people doubt because economy is made into a mess. But even if he has some knowledge of finance, sir, these things will not make your citizens happy. There are many countries in the world which are 100 times richer than India. Correct? Our per capita income is nothing. $1,500, $2,000. Many countries are 100 times richer. America is itself 25 times per capita richer. So many countries are much more richer, even 10 times. But they are not happy. So whole government always making program for economic development, how much they are missing the point. They actually, it's a lunacy, it's a madness. Andha yathande upaniyama. They're dragging people on something which they should not do. Very unfortunate. All the human energy is sapped into how to make more money, how to make more money, how to make more money. Sir, death is coming at any time. Why don't you think about that? But they have no. So now Nārada Muni is a great personality, is a great acharya. He has some Shakti, Bhakti Prada Shakti. He can give devotion to anybody. He has a power. Sometimes we see a person, we see some deficiencies there. But we don't have power to convince him. Neither we have any qualities to derive any respect. If you tell somebody to something to somebody, he will only listen first. There should be some respect. He should have respect for it. But if your character is such that person cannot respect you, how can you tell anything? But Nārada Muni's character is impeccable. Prabhupada says he's a devotee in his own way, class devotee in this universe. Nobody can match him. So then what happens is that Nārada comes and he instructs him. In what? He instructs him in pure devotion, which is very rare in this world. Most of the people, even if they know about religion, what do they think about religion? Do some punya karma, arrange some pujas, pathas for the Lord. Most of the so-called Hindus today, what do? Hinduism means in a year 3-4 times in my house some pujari will come, brahmana will come to do some puja and my religion is over. And once in a while I go to temple. No sir. And this is not the purpose of religion. Purpose of religion is pure devotion service. Savai pumsa paradharma yata bhakti adhokshade. That is the topmost dharma which is done for the pleasure of the Supreme, not for our comfort. That is not the purpose of dharma. It is just done for pure devotion. Now this pure devotion is actually intrinsic in the heart of every living entity. It is part and parcel of every living entity. Nitya, Siddha, Krishna, Bhakta, Sadhuka, Vinaya, Shavanadi, Shuddha, Chitta, Karaya, Udaya. But by hearing and chanting from the lips of a pure devotee, this pure devotion becomes awakened. That's what has happened to King Prachina Parishad. He will become very fortunate now. Nārada Muni will instruct him on the futility of karma jnana path and tell him to take the path of bhakti, which is the topmost path. This is the fortune of this king. Srila Prabhupada ki Srimad Bhagavatam.